Supply management is 20% of our ag in Canada. 20%, not a word. Zero, Zippo. All these facilities should have been Canadian. Why are we doing this to ourselves? You need a drill to cut through that butter, and it tastes like plastic.
Well, you gave me some good material there. Obviously, I could take that in a lot of directions, but I'm not going to, in the interest of time and various other concerns. But the audience is popping off here. Harry Siemens is saying, Dr. Prof, a significant change in my belief in thinking of supply management. Whew. Let's go on supply management. I say significant because I watched it start and grow, but as it grew, I realized that, oh, wow, this is going the wrong way, but initially was careful how I said it. David Weens was one of my best friends, and I could talk to him anytime. When he became chair of Dairy Farmers of Canada, I had limited access, so yes, I changed my thinking.
Really? Wow. Well, I know David. He's written me many lawyer letters, love letters.
Is that your love language?
Oh, by the way, I think, Dan, I think in my career, I've had lawyers of the dairy farmers in my office 5 times.
Well, maybe? Brian Bonnet, you were talking about this actually on another show, and I didn't realize. I was talking to somebody yesterday about how powerful they are, but
they're very powerful. So I've spoken to all leaders. I've spoken to Prime Minister Carney, not about supply management, but I've spoken to Pierre Poilievre, Jackman Singh, who's gone. I haven't spoken to the new leader, Avi Lewis, but Elizabeth May, and I mean, I'm realistic. They can't touch supply management. They just can't talk about it. Look at Prime Minister Carney's food security strategy a couple of weeks ago, which really wasn't a strategy between you and I. It was more like a list of investments, good ideas, but not necessarily a strategy. There weren't any measurable outcomes. Anywho, in the plan, there was no mention of supply management, and supply management is 20% of our ag in Canada. 20%, not a word. Zero, Zippo. And dairy in particular is probably one of the most inefficient sectors we have in Canada. Well, to be fair, where you are, Dan, I'd say I would kill for having a dairy sector that looks a lot like what you have where you are right now, like west of Toronto. That dairy farm, that dairy sector is amazing. Large farms, very efficient, low cost, strategic. They think about vertical integration. They're innovating. But in Ontario, like east of Toronto, Eastern Ontario, Quebec, and the Atlantic, my God. It's all about fair pricing. That's all they care about. Fair pricing, which brings prices higher. So the eastern part of the country is making the entire dairy sector look bad. And I've always argued, you know what? I was asked once by Pierre Poilievre a simple answer, like, so you believe in the quota system, Sylvain? Yes, I do. I would reform the system because it's not working, but I would keep the quota system. So what's the one thing, if you're God, if you look upon Canada and you're able to do one thing to make supply management more like better, what would it be? Simple. Nationalize the allocation of quotas. Instead of letting provinces manage the quotas, just do the allocation nationally, and you fix everything.
Wow.
But you know what's going to happen then, right? All that capital will flow east to west. and Quebec knows that.
Right.
So you can't do that. But that's the one thing you could do to keep the same system and serve consumers better. Avoid the Chinese to build a dairy plant in Ontario, which actually happened in Kingston, Ontario. Canada Royal Milk. Yes, we have a baby formula plant in Ontario built by the Chinese. It's incredible. We have Fairlife in Peterborough, built by Coca-Cola, an American company. All these back facilities should have been Canadian. Why are we doing this to ourselves?
Definitively, as the food professor, would we have better cheese if not for supply management?
Yes. Oh, well, not only that, we would actually have more affordable cheese. But well,
it would be better and cost less.
well, think about it. I mean, Dan, let's say you want to become a cheesemaker, and you've mastered the art of cheese making. So you're passionate about it. The first thing you realize, you have to pay an arm and a leg for your inputs. So you say, you know what, my cheese is going to be so good, people will still be willing to pay more for my cheese. Then you end up selling your cheese, I don't know, 25 bucks, 30 bucks, 40 bucks a kilo. Like who's got the money?
Mm.
So you do limit opportunities with higher farm gate prices. And when you compare farm gate prices in the US versus Canada, I mean, the difference is anywhere between 30 to 60% because it does fluctuate in the United States. But I mean, our milk and butterfat is way more expensive. And the butter that we have is not great. Have you have you ever tried Irish butter?
I was there, yeah. Oh, Europe, like
Oh
that's
my
they're
God.
creamy, a creamy bunch.
It pops in your mouth. It's just it's just incredible. It's so creamy, it's delicious. Then you come back to Canada, even though it's 30 degrees out like today, you need a drill to cut through that butter. And it tastes like plastic. It's just we got accustomed to mediocre butter. Unless you buy grass fed. If you buy grass fed, you're good. But anything else, not good.